Morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending where you're watching from, and welcome to another video from Hermes Betting Advice. Abysmal results across the board for yesterday, unfortunately. So we're gonna go with a quick overview of what happened yesterday, and then we're gonna continue with the selection for today, Tuesday, the 22nd of August 2017. Our bet of the day: Ahmad versus Arsenal. Really poor performance from the home team. Poor defending for the first goal of Arsenal, then a missed penalty by Ahmad, which is probably one of the worst penalties I've seen in a long time, as the striker didn't even hit the goal. The ball just went wide. Then they managed to equalize, and still had about 50 minutes plus extra time to play, but unfortunately, the very next attack, Arsenal scored which was a really nice goal, a nice crossing, Rice header. So they deservedly won. Unfortunately for us, though, that made our selection a losing one. So was our both teams to score selection. Young Utrecht versus us, as I said, expected a high scoring game and both teams to score. Unfortunately for us, Young Utrecht didn't manage to find the goal. As our overpriced selection, a late goal from Grabshaw basically made that selection a losing one. Young BSV come from behind, but then, as I said, I think it was 86 minute when Grabshaw scored the second goal. As to our accumulator, it was going really well, and it was really looking like we're gonna have our first big accumulator win. But unfortunately, as you can see, we ended with 2 losing selection and 4 winning ones. As I said, the early games, North Salem and Botoshani both came in strong. They won, and then Cork were winning or leading. Atromitos was leading 1-0. Valur were leading 1-0. Villarreal were looking at 0-0 at that time, and I was really thinking that, wow, we're gonna hit it strong. But a last-minute penalty from Levante. Well, it's not last minute, but 89-minute penalty from Levante put the game in their favor. And Atromitos basically 86-minute perfectly taken free kick from Smirnis earned them a point, and unfortunately for us made that a losing selection. So as I said one more time, abysmal results across the board. We're gonna continue with our selection for today and hope we're gonna have much more winners than yesterday. So our selections for the 22nd, we start with a match from the Carabao Cup between Grimsby and Derby. I fancy an away with Derby in really good shape, and they'll probably make substitutes, but I think they'll still have much better team to beat Grimsby at home. Although we know with the cup games it's really hard to predict, but most of the selections that we have to choose from today are either Champions League games or different national cup competitions. So that's our selection for the day. Derby to win away, Grimsby. Our both teams to score is between teams of Nice and Napoli in the Champions League. Napoli won comfortably 2-0 at home. So I expect to be a really open and attacking game, as Nice needs to try and overcome that 2 goals deficit. Our price selection is between MK Dons and Swansea, currently at 2.5 for away win. Swansea had really poor game Saturday, decent game the week before, but as every team needs to get their first win of the official season as soon as possible, so I expect them to put a strong lineup and to win MK's Dawn without going in extra time. As to our accumulator, first game comes from the Norway second division, and it's Bodo Glimt away. Bodo Glimt basically just in a really good shape, top of the league, good form, so I hope them to put another win behind their belt. Brighton, best start of the season, 2 losses, same situation as Swansea more or less. They will want to get their first win, doesn't matter in what competition, so I expect them to win. The third game is from the Friends Cup and is JFC Ayacho versus Red Star, so I expect them to win comfortably. If you're feeling a bit more adventurous, you can put a JFC Ayacho and under 2.5 goals to boost your stakes. Our fourth selection is Sheffield United playing Leicester at home. Leicester look really strong. I know Craig Shakespeare is gonna make a lot of team changes in his lineup, but even with that, Leicester have much better side, and technically they're a mid-table team. They cannot do any better. I would say they're 7 or 8 place in the Premier League, so basically having a good run in a cup competition and trying to qualify through that for Europe and following the steps of Man United, eventually getting to the Champions League as a Europa League Cup winner is probably the best way of them if they want to see a Champions League football in the near future. Our fifth selection, Watford playing at home versus Bristol City. Silva is just an amazing manager. It's such a good home record, so I see that being a home win. And our last selection is Aston Villa versus Wigan. Aston Villa had really nice open game on Saturday versus Norwich. So I expect the winning run to continue today as well. So that's our selection for the day, 22nd of August. It was a bad day for us yesterday, so let's make some money and let's hope the fortune's gonna be with us today. Thank you for watching and come tomorrow for another video.